There, my name is Thomas O'Regan and I'm a property investor here in Australia. Over the last 3.5 years, I've taken my $45,000 of capital and me and my wife turned it into a $4 million portfolio, which at its peak was 11 properties. Now, we sold a few of those properties and we're sitting on a bit of cash and we're looking to buy a large commercial property as our next step. But what I wanted to talk about with you guys today is picking an investment strategy that's right for you as a beginner investor. Now, the right strategy for you always depends on your financial situation. Most people that are earning $50,000 have to approach investing in property. Like when I say $50,000, they have, they're making $50,000 per year as an income. They'll obviously have to approach property investing differently than that is making $100,000 a year, or someone that is making $500,000 a year. Now, one of the other things that is going to affect your strategy that you choose is going to be the situation you're in your life, right? So if you have kids, or if you're at the end of your life, you're trying to retire and you want to start getting into property investing, or if you're in your teens, late teens, obviously you can't invest until you're 18 in property at least, or if you're in your 20s. At all these different stages, your strategy probably will be different, okay? And another big thing that will differentiate the strategy that you go for building your property portfolio will be obviously the amount of capital that you have to invest. Now, as I said at the start, if you're earning $50,000, you will have a different strategy from someone that's earning $100,000. But I want to stress, even if you're earning $50,000, you can still invest. It is still possible for you to invest. When I started investing, I was earning close to that same amount of money, and here I am today. I've got a much larger portfolio, made a lot of money in property. Okay, so probably I'll just point out, if you have a larger deposit, you can really kickstart your investment portfolio a lot faster. Why? Because you can buy, say for example, let's just say you're earning $100,000 and you have like $50,000 of capital. Well, the thing is, you can only buy one property because you need, $50,000 is only really enough for one property, unless you're buying really, really cheap properties. And I'm not saying that's not possible, but I don't see any properties that are, if you're using a $50,000 deposit, maybe you could buy two $100,000 properties. I don't see any $100,000 properties. Not saying they're not out there, but yeah. But for example, how would your strategy be different if you were earning $100,000 and you had, like, say, $150,000 of capital to start with? Well, the difference is, in your strategy, you could be much more aggressive. So what would that mean? It would mean, instead of starting by buying one property, you can literally start straight off the bat, in the same month, in the same year, buying 3 properties straight away. Okay? Whereas if you only had $50,000 and you were earning $100,000 of income, you are restricted to only buying one property. But how would your strategy be different in these different situations? Well, for me, if I only had the capacity in terms of capital to purchase one property, what I would be looking for in that property was, I would be looking for a property that has instant equity in it. I would be looking for a property that's in a growing market, that I am buying below the cost of other properties in the area. So I can be sure that very quickly the value of the property is going to increase, because I bought it under market value and the market is going up. Therefore, I can extract equity out very quickly and redeploy it into my next move. Now, that would be different from a strategy. And let's just say the purpose of that first property would be so you can extract equity straight away. And that might mean you might need to buy a property that's not, it might not be an ideal property for, like, say, a long-term hold, for example. Like, that's just an example, right? But whereas the person that is still on the same amount of income, but instead of having $50,000 of capital to start with, they have 150, that person might buy 3 properties, but these properties, instead of just being a quick equity release, you're looking for just like a long-term growth area. These properties are looking for like a more long-term growth perspective. Maybe you also don't want to grow your property portfolio too fast, so you're happy to sit on properties for a while without extracting equity. So that's just 2 examples of a person in a similar situation where they might have strategies that are different. Now, I could go on all day about this, but I think you guys get the point. If you're in a different position, if you have different goals, your strategy should be different, and it should suit you. So hopefully that helped. See you guys next time. Bye.